come. Oh, yeah. Problems, problems, problems. Hopefully this is the right stream. 6 watching. BNSF 6599. Dave BNSF in scale. Dawson's Railfan Adventures. Chasco BNSF 6951. Cousin Vinny. Well, all welcome to the live stream. Schuylkill River Bowie. Michael McCarbell. Digger Evans. PDRRE or engineer. Who else? Yeah, said Digger. Welcome to the live chat, guys. Live stream, whatever you want to call it. You get an hour of my goofiness and whatever else you want to call it. How's the sound in the picture? And well, now it's saying it's unstable. It was good, but it went into unstable mode. Kind of figured out how it would happen. Great. And now it's back to good. Sound is good. Nice and loud, and pictures clear, I'm assuming. The Carver, welcome. Dunk, Ink Customs. Picture and sound both good here. Thank you, PDRR engineer. Appreciate that. Sound and picture good this side of the pond. Thank you, Digger. I like to hear that. If it's good on your side of the pond, then we know we're somewhere in the right part of getting this live feed going smooth. There's Mr. Not Bad. Indian Head Valley Railroad, who lives north or west of me, not north, west, maybe like a northwest, I don't know, but not, well, he lives up there in Pennsylvania, not too far out of Pittsburgh. I know it's Everson, and he lives up one of them many counties up in there, way up in the mountain before Pittsburgh and Ohio and all those good places that I'll probably never. Looking good tonight, no matter what or what part of the pond. Well, Wilmer, you know, buddy, as long as I can get a signal over to Fish Pond, I'm good to go. Anything that don't go over to Fish Pond, then we got a problem. I'm just making glad it's making it out of this part of the pond to you all. And just my computer screen here a little bit. Try to get the. I got to put something over that light back there above my head. Back here behind me. That kind of gets irritating. Now it's unstable again. I don't know if that is something to do with internet or what it is. But tonight, we're going to do some weathering. It seems to be the only thing that I can think of because I've been busy the last couple weeks, and it seems, to be a quick thing to think of and do. If you remember, the last couple times we did, I believe we did this side. Yes, this side first. 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, because I wasn't on here last week. So it'd be 3 weeks ago now. And plus, the roof panel makes it look like they patched it up where it might have got ripped off or something, and they welded a piece in. And then we did this side, which is a little different than this side. You don't have to have them the same. You're only going to see one side going around at a time. And if you're lucky, if your train comes the other way, then you'll see the opposite side. But more than likely on my layout, you will only see one side coming across and going around and, doing its thing, or unless it gets, switched around at some secret spot, which there'll probably be one or two of those secret spots that has a reverse loop. And remember, I am only DC, so it's going to take a little bit more figuring out with the reverse loops rather than having like a DCC where you can do it all automatically. I have an idea how to do all that automatically, and I will try to do a video on that, what my idea is, or maybe I can do it on a live stream. I would probably rather do it on a video. That way everybody can kind of gather in and watch it at their own convenience when they have time, because not everybody gets into my live feeds on a Thursday. So I wouldn't look at that page. It's working. Yes, Vinny, I hope you're feeling better soon, buddy. I know you was going into the hospital last night, I believe. So I hope you're feeling better very, very soon. Anyway, we are going to do the Texas State Railroad boxcar, I believe, or we might even get into the Longview, Portland, and Northern car. And those doors are actually glued open. Jack did that, or if he bought this one of these at one of his sales that he went to, he might have bought it that way. But it looks like somebody knows my little trick. They put washers in there to space the trucks down, and that's something that I was doing for years on a lot of my DC stuff to try to get the couplers to, because before I even knew the gauge and all this other stuff existed, that's what that's what I was starting to do. I was buying little washers or whatever washers I could find by the pound that would fit, and you know they was only a couple dollars a pound or something like that. Um, at a hardware store like your big box stores like Lowe's, or even a farm and tractor place that sells that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's one way of getting by, of space in the. Oh, that's not the right car. I'm sorry. It was this one. But if you can see the where's my finger at? The metal in there underneath the trucks, the little round shiny pieces. This side here might be a little bigger. There's a big one. Oh, this one here. You can see that one real good. This one's kind of covered up. It's smaller, but that's that's one of the old tricks. I did not do this one, so I can't take credit of doing this one. This one was obviously already done, and I just noticed that. And I had the cars for since last year. But anyway, like Sparky was saying last night on the cars, you can see this one's this is like an Afrin or maybe even a roundhouse. Um, I'm going to say roundhouse because it's a longer coupler box, but you can see there's a few little different pieces of detail under here. You got your brake compressor for your air, um, your brake cables and stuff like that. And I'm not sure what this is. It's some kind of little doohickey, just a doohickey. One of the Wilmer, maybe one of the future Wilmer not bad terms. Just a doohickey on the train. Anyway, but they don't have no much detail. Like I've said many times before, guys, you don't see it. And Sparky mentioned this last night on his live chat. Why would you want a lot of detail, or because you're not going to see it going by like this, unless you're running your trains on mirrors. That's the only way that you actually get any reflection off the bottom of your train. That's the reason I don't worry about if it's metal wheels, plastic wheels, whatever connects together and stays connected together, and I can run. That's what I'm running for now. I'm not saying that some of my stuff wasn't converted over to 85s, because a lot of it was, especially passenger trains and stuff that might climb, a gradual incline, because with the horn hooks, they'll tend to go back and forth even though they got the little plastic spring piece on there, which is nothing more than just a thin piece of cupware that they chopped out. And where these might stay, the knuckle couplers will stay together a little bit better. They will not, come open unless for some reason this is going to start moving on and get locked on something and come open, or you might have a bad coupler, which that could always happen. Couplers will go bad if you run trains a long time. But anyway, I will have one or couple trains, I might say, few trains that will go off the bottom level, and I'll do a future video on this also, because my layout is in a major change type situation right now. So anyway, I'll just give you a little idea. The train will come down to one side of the layout, and it can either bypass the incline decline and go on around back to the front. And this is all going to happen in the back, guys, where the decline stuff is. So you really won't see it unless I have a camera on it. But it'll switch, and you can go up the incline, decline, and it'll go all the way down into the front, come around, and keep climbing up to about 12 inches off the main level. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because there is actually no second level. There is, but it's over here off to the one side alone, and there's no other trains on there but my dad's Marks train, and there'll be two other trains in circles also with that Marks train, either two HOs or two, it'll be two a Lionel, a Marks, and an HO Lionel, or two HOs and a Marks, whichever I decide to do it. But that side will also be under major changes. But anyway, it'll go 16 foot all the way to 8 inches. Then there'll be a shelf type board, not really a shelf type, but like a 1x8 or something, or it's supposed to be a 1x10, but it's actually 1x9 3/4 or something like that. Whatever they estimate the lumber to be. But that board will go like this for a while, or unless it all depends where I have to start the next incline decline kit. But I'm figuring it'll probably be flat for a little bit. I'm hoping about 8 foot flat, going 4 inches. The board will be up on 3 1/4 inch blocks to make it the right, so that they'll be flush and level, and it'll go down about hopefully 8 foot, like I said, and then it'll start climbing another 16 foot with another decline incline set to get to 8 inches, and then from the 8 inches, depending where everything is set, where I have to put it, there'll be another board flat, and then it'll go up a 4% incline kit, which is 8 foot, and it'll go right into the 12 inches back there in the back somewhere. The only time you'll see it climbing is coming out front and around, and then it'll go back and hopefully it'll disappear, and I'll be able to figure out how to get my Y switch and my left and right hooked up in that general area where the incline is going to end, the 4%. The other two is 2%. So I went with the 4 because I wasn't going to be able to do another whole 16, and I didn't want to waste a bunch of risers unless I had to. So the 4% sounded good to me, just to take it on up right to the 12 inches. So it'll go from 0 to 8, or 0 to 4, 4 to 8, and then 4 to 12, or 8 to 12. So it's going to be a long distance. I don't have a place for a helix, and for DC, a helix would work, but you would have to make it so, you had plenty of, downgrade, more of a downgrade angle than you would DCC, because DCC would have a little more power than DC, or unless I had some kind of consist going around the helix. And with DC, that's a little hard to do because you don't have speed matching in DC. No two motors is the same. Technically, they're not really the same in DCC, but they speed match real good because they're from the same manufacturer. That's what the owner of my local train shop told me, and he knows his train stuff. He said if those two engines are from the same manufacturer, then they should almost be speed matched and almost be the same. If you go from like an Afrin and to a Walters unit, then you're going to have to do your speed matching same way of other brands if you mix them up. Me, if I ever go DCC, I've already found the engines that I'm going to probably buy. The brand, the Afrin, not Afrin Genesis, but the Afrin Train line. I don't know if it's Train line or what it is, but it has, they sell them with sound and the toters and the stay alive, or I'm not sure if they have stay alive in them, but they do. Some of them do have sound, ditch lights, and all that stuff. And they're supposed to be one of the cheaper ways to go get started in DCC versus your Bachmann DCC on board stuff. Afrin took it a little further, and if you want to know more on that, there is a video that Derek Glass did. He did a review on the new Afrin engines, and he had one with the ditch lights that actually was already programmed and everything in there. And he bought two Afrin units, one with sound and ditch lights, the other one without ditch lights and sound. And they was actually speed matched out of the box. And that's the way that I'm probably going to go, since I'll be a beginner in DCC in the future. If I ever go that route, they say that is the way to go, because you won't have to install the decoders. The decoders is already in there with sound, and there's a few units that you can get with the ditch lights and the Mars light and all kinds of stuff already equipped on it. And Derek Glass, like I said, did a review on his, and he said that they're well detailed. Like your grab irons, your steps, your trucks, your fans, the air conditioner units, I think, is on there, depending, I guess, which engine you're after. Yes, ready to roll, Jerry. And I'm sorry I haven't been looking at the cat, but I don't have any beef with Bachman. Not bad for. Yes, Bachman is a good beginner because it's a DCC on board, which you can get those with sound. I'm not saying that you can't. They cost a little more money, and they're usually in the red box, but the blue box Bachman DCC on board is usually the ones without the sound. And I've got a few, about 3 of those, I believe. 2 of them being Western Maryland, which will be on one of my layouts one of these days, if I can ever get the layout that far. I've been busy the last couple weeks, so I haven't really been out there all that much. And it gets colder at night, and the heater kind of gets over or drowned it out by the cold outside, which tells me that's the time to go in. That's like an automatic alarm clock. But anyway, as I keep rambling on, I will see. There's our local, or our weekly live streams that I'm aware of. Michael Carbill is not on here yet. I do know he's been going live almost every night. Almost every night. But you should show your locomotives. Yes, I should. I'll have to work that into one of my shows, Wilmer. That's a good idea. But anyway, there's the main live streams. And I'm not going to leave it up there very long on account of this thing not being. There's my PayPal account if you want to send a few bucks to help out with future contests and projects that I will be able to go and buy online or my local hobby shop. There is 50 $50 in the piggy bank right now, in the model railroad piggy bank, thanks to James Cadesco, or it was James, it was the other James, not James Cadesco, but the other one that was in here a few weeks back. And Container Man 68 also sent $25, which makes $50, and I've got it separated from my own money, so I do not go and say, well, I got $50 I can go spend. No, it won't work like that, because I've put it aside into a railroad fund for model railroading only, for this channel, contest projects, and that kind of stuff. So, and we will take this message down, and and obviously not. And there's our weekly shows. I changed that a little bit because I didn't really finish it, I guess, because we're missing Ralph's Car Barn and Ron Piskel's At the Workbench. But you can see Not Bad come out on Mondays. And this, our friend Roy Smith from Panama, does his Tuesday Dispatch, brings it out on Tuesday nights right after On Track Tuesday. And Not Bad is usually on sometime during morning, noonish times. Wilmer gets his out there early on account of so he don't forget about it and interrupt just Nate's Monday night live chat and Tom's Trains and Things is also on Tuesday nights, or Monday nights. And On Track Tuesday is on Tuesdays, usually somewhere around 7 o'clock, 7:30, sometimes 8, all depends who is on that night. Tony is usually on sometime between 7:30 and 8 because of his work schedule. But check those guys out. Especially Wilmer. He's out of coffee all the time. Gets a little excited and overwhelmed. I do know he loves his trains. It don't matter if they're DC, AC, DCC, N scale, HO, G, O, number 1 scale, S scale, or S gauge, or any of those, even the real ones. Wilmer he's a good friend, as well as Rory Smith. You'll see both of those up at Strasbourg. Those guys, Strasbourg, May 15th, 16th, and I'm thinking the 17th for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe that was something to do with Stratton, Pennsylvania. But I know Vinny, our cousin Vinny, will be making the trip. Our good friend and buddy Roy Smith will be coming from Panama. John Dewey will be coming from California. And I'm also hearing that Container Man 68 is going to be there and staying with Vinny. So, and I know Roy. We met each other here in Hagerstown. He called me or texted me one day and said, "You want to meet?" And I said, "Sure." And I went up to the Powhatan truck stop, gas station, convenience store. So they're rolled up in the one. And I met him and we chit-chatted. And then that same night, he went up to our good buddy Wilmer's place, and they had a cookout. So, and Roy was heading that way anyway. He was down Baltimore that day, down at the docks, unloading stuff or having stuff unloaded and reloaded. And he was heading back to Kansas and those different places, but he stopped at Wilmer's place on the way. And I'll be glad to meet anybody that comes to Strasburg. Yes, the 16th and 17th. I don't know why I keep thinking the 15th. The 15th must be on the brain for some reason. But anyway, we're going to, well, if it turns off, get rid of that. And so everything is not so unstable like it is right now. I really think it's something to do with what Sparky had told me, which I already really knew. When you have a neighborhood with working off the same cable company or the same internet feed box, everybody comes home from work, gets on the internet at the same time, and it draws your signal and power down. And that's the reason, one reason why I'm having a lot of problems, because all the neighbors is on the same internet service, and it's just drawing everybody's power down, and it's not as strong during the day. Everything here works perfect. When I test something, yes, if anybody is there from the 15th through the 18th, you will be able to hang out with our cousin Vinny up at Strasburg all those days. But he'll be leaving the 18th, which is that Monday. So anywhere between the 15th, 16th, and 17th, you'll be able to hang out with our cousin Vinny. I'm only going for the 2-night thing. Let's see. We're going up Friday, staying Saturday, and going home that Sunday. Which ain't real bad because it's the weekend. And my friend Randy, I talked my friend Randy into going. He's not big into trains like I am or everybody else is going to be, but I did get him a train set for Christmas off of eBay at like $30. I think I paid for it. Not it was just a lifelike set that had lifelike what do they call that track that it goes together and it don't have no terminals. Lock track or lifelike lock track or something like that. I think it's called. That's called an information bottleneck. Oh, well, anyway, but he's happy with it. I told him when we get his shed rearranged a little bit and get a decent roof on it. I will build him a 4x8 to put it on, but I'll probably give him, regular Atlas sectional track or something like that. That way I can build it easier. And I will build, he wants a up and over or over and under type layout so he can have like a farm scene and roads and that kind of stuff. So that will be no, that's Bachman, Wilmer. I'm talking about the lifelike stuff, and I can't think. I think it's lifelike easy lock, or it actually don't really have terminals. The rail joiners rather. It has like a interlocking thing with two metal tabs on it that is your electricity. It's a cheaper version of the easy track and that kind of stuff. So, but it actually don't have rail joiners at all on it. The rails extend down into the metal tabs and they go flush right with one another as the rail goes flush up here. So, but it's like a lock. Yes, power lock. That's what I was trying to think of. Thank you, PDRR engineer. I knew it was some kind of easy lock or something, but it was a cheaper brand before Easy Track came out, I believe, or at the same time. Excuse me. But anyway, but yeah, get everybody trying to get together and go to Strasbourg. We only do the get-togethers once a year with Sparky. Sparky and John Daly and all them get to go to Vinny's house. I would love to go to Vinny's house, but I'm not sure if it's even going to happen this year. But you never know. But I would love and enjoy to meet everybody again and new people, especially Vinny, Roy Harbick, and Ray Boble. I will be meeting for the third time at Strasbourg. So it'll be 3 against a lot of 2s against a lot of 1s, you might say. So the odds are against us. But Ray Boble and Roy Container Man 68 both have the lead on meeting me. But anyway, enough about Strasbourg, guys, because we all talk about it during the week, so I don't want to bore us too much with it. Um, for the last few minutes, I'm going to get into see if I can switch my cameras. Okay, there we are. Just wondering if it was going to come on or not. I didn't realize it was that late, but we'll try to do a little bit of this anyway. I love you too. Party with Cuz. Anything could be a party with the Cuz. Especially if you get Sparky and John Dilly and a few and Roy Container Man 68, all them together. Well, yeah, we'll have a party in itself. Because what I hear, it gets pretty wild at Vinny's with those guys showing up, especially when we have Sparky go through the windows and okay, guys, trying to get I think I'm going to use this brush. I'm going to try a little bit of brown oxide for this, since it's actually, you know what? I think I'm going to do the burnt umber because it's more of a rusty, dark rust. So tonight I'm going to try a little more dry brushing rather than the wet brushing, um, because the dry brushing seems to be a little more um, better than the two. Not that I don't like the other way, diluting the paint and letting it run where it lands. Um, but for this car, I believe I might do something just a hair different. Get a little water on my brush, and we're going to wipe the excess off on a paper towel and just kind of I just light brush it. That way it ain't too dark. I just want this car to look like it started, um, having rust coming off the roof. I really ought to do the roof first, but um, he'll be all right. And if you watch the YouTube videos on um, weathering, you'll always hear somebody say you want to get down where your yeah, lost my train of thought, but where your panels of the box car come together, your strip right here, your panel strips. Not that that's probably the right term to say that, but it's the only thing that's in my head right now for some reason. It's been one of those weeks. one of those weeks that you just can't think. But some light weathering. Um, I don't want to get the door too much because of the little lettering. And what in the world is this? Stuff is popping up in the middle of my camera. It's something like that, guys. I don't know if the camera will let you see that or not. Let me see if I can. Get the light out of the camera a little bit. There you go. Some brown on there. Very light. You don't have to make it very dark unless you want to make it, look like it's a car that's been sitting in the middle of nowhere forever. And then you can do it darker and get the paint off my thumb before I have a thumbprint everywhere. And then, like your steps, you can do a little darker around your strips. And then up on your roof, up here on the roof, you can get a little darker if you want, because this is where all your rain and water is going to mainly lay until it gets off the roof and slowly, runs down the side. So you can really darken the roof up if you want. And actually, I think I'm out of paint. Okay. And you can just make it look like it's started, or you can make it look like it's just a piece of history that was left behind a long time ago. But something like that. You don't have to get, real dark, real light. Just something to dull it down just a little bit. I'm going to try a little lighter color on this side. Might not be as dark because it's a different brown, but might actually even be working better. This side I don't want to do real bad, because I like to have like a more of a older looking side and more of a weathered side. Not a new side, but like an older, just something that might be starting to rust, or somewhere in the middle of that nature. See, I like how that's coming out, because it actually dulled all this down a little bit, and the numbers ain't shining. The name up here is, underneath all the weather, but you can still read it. So now I got the ends to do. I might do a little more of the roof with, ooh, maybe not that much. Dull that down a little bit. Just kind of blend the colors in. And there's all kinds of techniques to weathering. Um, I'm not really into the weathering thing 100%, but I think it looks good because I when I rail fan, I see all these neat cars, and I'd love to take some of these cars, some other cars, and put um, graphics and that, or the um, what am I looking for the word? Yeah, graffiti. I see a lot of cars that will come up from Baltimore and different places, and I seen a train one day. Every car had graffiti on it. It didn't matter what picture it was, what it was. Every car, every box car, every tanker, anything that was on that train that went by, it had some kind of writing and paint on it. So I just thought that was, the neatest thing because I knew they was probably coming from Baltimore or, one of those places where, you know, all that kind of stuff um, happens. And of course, it happens everywhere, anywhere nowadays. But anywhere that they can sneak in and do graffiti and stuff, they'll sneak into it. Eventually get caught, but they'll get in there somehow. And I'm just going to go over the ends a little bit. Over the couplers, top of the couplers. And it looks like the trucks, side of the trucks might already be done some, and the wheels might already be done some. So I'm not going to do those too much. Yeah. I'd love to try to practice airbrushing on some of my older cars that I wouldn't be worried about. Um, that I might have doubles or triples or something of the same number. Um, the old lifelike AHM, some Tyco. Um, there's all kinds of older manufacturers. Everybody, a lot of people call all them older cars toy trains. I don't. That's what I grew up on. It was always model trains when I grew up on them. That's all you had back then. You didn't have fancy Afrin and Roundhouse and all these the more fancier models like we do today. You know, when when you started the internet, that's when the whole technology came into the train stuff and that kind of stuff to upgrade everything, and that's how all that got started. And I mean, it's not that some of the older ones didn't have, some of them came with metal wheels, or you could buy the metal wheels. It's just you had to buy certain ones to fit what you was fitting them on. But now most of the time it's metal wheels, um, some kind of metal couplers, sometimes plastic whisper whisker couplers like um, Bachman and all them make. Um, but there's the car. Looks pretty good, and I'm going to let this go to about 8:15, guys. That way you can start promoting your channels because I've done lost track of time. That's how quick it went. As I'm showing the car, I'll let you promote your channels. There's one end, if you can see that or not. Let me get this and put over the light. Try to dull the light out a little bit. Could be the camera too. It's an old webcam that I found at the school that I worked at. Somebody left it behind one summer, and usually when we found stuff, we was allowed to take it home instead of throwing it away. And I found that one, and I brought it home, and it worked. So I'm not going to complain for a free webcam. But there's that side. I don't know. You can see that a little better like that. And there's that part. Show you the roof again. And I think my chat had slowed down, so I'm not going to be able to read your sub numbers. Okay, Vinny. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. Mark Sanders, how you doing, buddy? Nice to have you in here. But here's this side. I think I showed you that side first. Don't look real bad. It's not real dark and heavy like this one here. This one here I did by the just the paint method. I just brushed it on there heavy. This one is you take and dip into your paint and wipe it off excess on a paper towel and what they call dry brushing. Pretty well. Looking good. I mean, it's not bad for my railroad anyway. But anyway, I do not have no numbers showing up on this computer on YouTube, unfortunately. Yes, thank you, Vinny. I'm surprised I made it without problems, but I I lowered the revolution or whatever it is, and it brought up a good network. And a couple times it said unstable, but like I said, that could be the internet in the area. Everybody uses it at night when they come home. Kids are off of school, they got to use it for school, for homework and different stuff. So it could be just that. I mean, it could. I just turned my microphone off. That was nice of me. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this instead of staying on till 8:15. Since laptop, my gaming computer, Ralph. Okay, guys, I thank everybody for coming in here. According to this, I had 18 of you in here and one thumbs down, or well, 18 thumbs up and one thumbs down, and 17 of you watching. I'm going to guess that that's right, or close to being right. I'm going to have to figure out another way of watching the chat on YouTube, because this way just thank you, school kill River Valley. You have a good night also. Everybody have a good night, and we will see you hopefully next Thursday, if all goes well like it did tonight. It's like I said, it's coming up unstable and good, so I don't know if it's just the internet service or if it's actually, still something messed up. But I'm not going to touch it because it worked tonight. So once I shut it down, that's it. And if it don't work next week, well, the gremlins came to the basement and came into the computer room. Okay, we'll catch you later. Thanks again, guys. God bless. Stay warm. Stay out of the bad weather if you have any.